Hi, it's 2:30 in the morning. Now I'm not a natural at getting up early. It's hard work, but I do it because I know how important light is to photography. It's the most important aspect of photography, and the best light is normally the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day. So it's going to take me about an hour and a half to get to where I'm going from here. So I'm going to be arriving roughly 4 o'clock. The sun won't get up until I think it's about 10 minutes to 5. So I've got roughly 50 minutes to find what I'm looking for. I know approximately where I'm going, but not exactly. But it shouldn't be too difficult because what I'm looking for is very big and very red. It was an organic wheat field full of red poppies, and a glorious sight. I knew the name of the village it was close to, but not the right road, and I assumed it would be in a field next to the road, but it wasn't. It was one field in, which made it hard to find. But it's not the poppies I'd come to photograph. Apparently, this field is full of roe deer. The deer are very hard to see. They're out there, but the poppy and the crop is so high that just the heads stick out occasionally. You've got to keep scanning, and they're moving about, so suddenly they sort of pop up much closer to you than you're anticipating. I'm using the OM-150 to 600mm lens again today. I'd done a film on pied flycatchers using this lens, and then I did a film where I sort of reviewed the lens, and I'm still using it. And this is a unique opportunity. In 50 years of wildlife photography, this is the first time I've been photographing roe deer in poppies. You know, it's a spectacular picture, potentially, and I'm quite happy to use this lens. I could have bought the 150 to 400mm. As I said in the review, the difference in image quality between the two is hard to see. It's there, definitely the 150 to 400mm has the edge, but you have to take two identical pictures, look at them side by side to be able to see that difference. If you just look at one picture by itself, you're not aware of it. So it doesn't bother me at all to use this lens. I've got more pulling power on this lens, which I'm going to need, I suspect, today. And the quality factor just doesn't matter to me at all. What makes the difference is the fact that I'm here now. It's 5:15. The sun's just coming over the hill behind me. If you take these pictures at 10 o'clock in the morning, well, I wouldn't bother. You'd delete them. Light, that makes a fantastic difference. Which lens you use, not so much. As I'm prone to doing these days, I started off shooting video, and when I think I've got enough video clips, then I start to take stills pictures. That doesn't always work. There are some subjects that don't really work as video, so I only want stills. But here, I really wanted both. The problem is the wheat and the poppies are so high, it's difficult to get full-bodied shots. You're only getting headshots. But that can be very attractive. Shutter speed really doesn't matter. It can be anything from a 60th of a second upwards. You can close the aperture down to get a bit more depth of field on the poppies, but mostly I was shooting wide open. I was very interested to know if the roe deer were eating the poppies, because there's a lot of plants they don't eat, such as daffodils. And it took quite a bit of time to actually see that she was eating the red petals. When she turns her head to the right, if you keep an eye on her mouth, you will see some red petals as they go down, about now. There. And the same again in this shot. Just there. And then, all of a sudden, there was a lot of noise. I thought there might be a tractor coming or a low-flying airplane, And then I saw this and I guessed it's some sort of paraglider. Very noisy, he was skimming low above the poppies, and I assume he had a GoPro camera on there filming the sight. Straight away I started to think, which way are the deer going to run? So I swapped to video mode, but unfortunately they ran away from me. But I'm not surprised they ran, it was very noisy. But this is a possible opportunity if I could get these deer running towards me. It's something like the 26th of June today, which is the start of the roe deer rutting season. I always think it's July when they rut. So the male will be following a female around, and photographically the great advantage is they become far less wary. They are basically preoccupied and they take far less notice of human beings at this time of year. So this is a buck or a male on the prowl, and I hoped he might stir things up just as much as that paraglider did. There was a lot of females in the field, maybe 4 or 5 at a time, but I didn't see any chasing. Look at the size of those ears. Now there was something strange going on here. This was a typical sighting of the roe deer because the vegetation is so deep. But as I'm looking at it through the viewfinder, there's something not quite right about the way the vegetation's moving. And then it dawns on you, there's not one roe deer but 2, or even more. Because during the month of May, the females give birth. So these are her youngsters. And if you're very observant, you'll see there's 2 youngsters. I really wanted her to take those youngsters to where the vegetation was not quite as high, and she did oblige for a short while. But this is not an opportunity you get to photograph and video very often, and I was very pleased to see it. I did actually go several times to get this footage together. Thanks for watching.